Hello and welcome to Paddle Forward, August 2023. My name's Andrew Davies. I serve Paddle as the Chief Marketing Officer. We're here in our London office. We've got Christian, our founder, who's going to speak in a minute. We've got product leadership. We're going to talk about some product updates. And we've got Danielle, Bianca, we've got Leanne behind here, who are answering questions and helping out in the chat. So feel free to drop questions and comments there, and we will make sure we get to all of them. Now, we've got a really exciting update for you today. We're going to be working through some data, some recommendations, and some product updates. But it really isn't about us, it's about you. Before I was a CMO, I was a software founder, and I experienced some of those pains of scaling, of challenges of seeing around the corners of growth. And we're really privileged at Paddle to help 4,000 software companies and their founders and leadership teams run and grow their software companies. And today we're going to be talking about how we can help you do that more effectively and more efficiently. So today we'll be diving into a few different things, a bit of a state of SaaS. We'll be talking about Paddle past and present and future, and then diving into a bunch of product updates before we go to Q&A and deep dives. So yes, number one, for some housekeeping, we will send you the recordings. Number two, ask us anything in the Q&A. If there are any audio problems, video problems, or questions you've got, drop them there. And then two final updates. Firstly, please stick around for giveaways. And then finally, in the last few minutes, we'll be diving into some deep dives with different members of our team. So those final two, if you stay and give a great comment or a great question, the top three will be winning a prize. Now, I've got some of my pairs on right now, but you'll be winning some custom Nike trainers or sneakers, as they say across the pond. These won't be in our branding, they'll be in your branding, so you can get them colored based on your company homepage. So that's one prize that's coming out. 3 of those available today to the best questions and the best comments. And then secondly, if you join one of the deep dives, we'll be giving you one of our Paddle caps. So please stick around for that. We've got a deep dive focused on customers. We've got a deep dive focused on people who are prospects who aren't a Paddle customer currently. And we've got a deep dive with our developer experience team, where you can dive into the nitty-gritties of APIs and integrations and a whole bunch of stuff we're releasing there. So let's quickly zoom out for a minute and think about SaaS in 2023. Now, it's hard. We're seeing it in the news, we're seeing it in the numbers. Growth is slower and growth is harder than it has been in previous years and in the zero interest rate environment that we saw a couple of years back. We see this in our numbers, and we're really privileged to look inside of about 34,000 software companies. We see their financial data through our metrics product. And we can see how growth across the industry is correlated with all of the different macroeconomic shocks that we've been reading about in the news. But if we click a couple of lines deeper from just an overall statement that growth is harder and growth is slower, we see some really interesting trends. Firstly, we see that companies are able to continue selling to new customers and to continue winning revenue from existing customers. But winning revenue from existing customers is proving easier than signing net new clients, net new customers. And secondly, we're seeing that all of that new revenue that's being won, it is being eroded more than in the past by churn. Churn is now at an all-time high since we've been tracking it over 8 or 9 years, and it's 30% higher than at its peak in the COVID boom times. So let's just think now about how we sell. Try before you buy and other product-led tactics are now table stakes for selling to the customers you're selling to. If we learn from our friends over at OpenView, what we see is it's not just about those who sell to developers and those who just sell to small businesses, but in every single segment, product-led growth and the tactics associated with it, being ready at the point of sale, selling to the user, allowing them to try before they have to pay, allowing the upsell process to be from individual to team plans to enterprise plans, all through the lens of the product. Those methods are working and are being used across the spectrum of company sizes you're selling to and personas that you're selling to. And it's interesting, in our data, we are seeing incredibly competitive markets in the mature economies. In the US, in the UK, in Northern Europe particularly, when we look at our data, we see customer acquisition cost continue to rise. It's spiraling. And there's something really interesting here, and we'll talk about it in a moment, in that there's a growth opportunity outside of those major markets where customer acquisition cost has not spiraled quite as much. And then finally, investors and people who might want to buy your company, they place a premium on efficiency and on unit economics. Again, looking at OpenView's SaaS Benchmarks report, if we look backwards at the boom times, what we saw was valuations were correlated heavily or sometimes almost exclusively with the rate of growth of your ARR, how fast you are growing your revenue. But nowadays, efficiency metrics like the Rule of 40 and your CAC payback period are much stronger in their correlation with your valuation. It's important to grow, but it's really important to grow efficiently. So, with that backdrop, how do we think about solving this? Well, looking across our base of customers, we see one thing that's really interesting is that people who grow fast, companies that grow fast, they generally are deriving an increased portion of their revenue from existing customers, from upselling to larger plans, selling new products, new services, new add-ons. And also that expansion revenue comes at a lower cost. As you can see on this slide, and you'll get all these slides afterwards and we can dive into them in more depth if it's interesting. But if you derive a greater percentage of your revenue from your existing customers, then your efficiency will be greater as a business. Secondly, and yes, I'm preaching to the converted here, but it's important that you think about how you can learn from and adopt product-led growth strategies. We see, again, very clearly in our data and in OpenView's data as well, that if you use PLG tactics to ranked here, discoverable in the moment of need and a robust free product, those are correlated with a much more efficient business, with a faster customer acquisition cost payback period. And then it gets a bit more complicated because all the PLG businesses that we see and we track, they mature out of just a purely product-led motion and they add on sales teams. Often they do this quite early, but certainly by the time they get to 15 or 20 million of ARR, they will have a sales team on top. And this hybrid motion is something that we're seeing across the board in every single segment. And when we look at that and look at the different growth levers that drive fast growth, one thing is standing out, and that's those who are tracking and using this hybrid strategy. So you can see on the far right column there, if it's too small to read, what it says is those who track PQAs and PQLs. Now, us marketers love to make up new three-letter acronyms to describe things, and what this means is those who are tracking product qualified accounts and product qualified leads. So they are using product usage data in their free or their low price single user plans in order to prioritize what their sales teams spend time and effort on. So that is the biggest correlation with fast growth in 2023. And then finally, just to complete the loop back to those notes I made at the top, it's really important to internationalize your product and internationalize your marketing, because there are opportunities around the globe if you can look beyond the few very busy, very mature markets. And we see using multiple payment methods, using different types of pricing models and willingness to pay in different regions correlates with faster growth. But we also see that, as you can see here, going from no localization to increased localization correlates with more growth as you localize for different regions. So at Paddle, we've gone through a real transformational last year or so. We acquired ProfitWell, we've been integrating those products into our overall portfolio, and we've been preparing for the next phase of our business. And if we think about it, what we're doing here is we're trying to help every SaaS leader learn about their industry, learn about benchmarking, learn about how they should grow. And we do that through a variety of means, publishing content and data and benchmarks. And then we want to help you understand your business by giving you insight into how your business works. We want to help you operate your business, and we do that through our core merchant of record platform, which deals with subscriptions and tax compliance and payments and a whole bunch of other things globally. And we want to help you grow. And so we've built our offerings for each of these. Paddle Studios, and you'll see some examples of that through the course of the next hour, where we want to be publishing fantastic content that is used by SaaS leaders to help them grow and scale their software businesses. The ProfitWell Metrics product, which is now integrated into Paddle and is a great way to understand and benchmark your growth, your MRR, and your churn. We've then got two growth products, Retain, which helps you deal with churn, and Price Intelligently, which helps you monetize your product more effectively. And then finally, we've got the heartbeat of Paddle, our core merchant of record platform. And today we're going to be spending most of our time talking about this and what we are now calling Paddle Billing, which is the new version of this merchant of record platform. So Hopefully, that gives you a quick précis into some market issues and what we are doing to solve those. But I would love to bring up Christian now, our founder, to talk to you a bit about Paddle's past, Paddle's present, Paddle's future, and then to tee up some of our product leaders who are going to talk to you in more depth about what we've got on offer.
Thank you, Andrew, and I'm incredibly excited to be here for Paddle Forward. One thing that Andrew didn't mention is today is actually Paddle's 11th birthday. We started Paddle 11 years ago, and I couldn't think of a date, an anniversary more fitting for us to make one of the biggest product announcements that we've made in our entire history here at Paddle. But before we get there, I wanted to give a little reminder of where we came from. 11 years ago, I founded Paddle with my co-founder, Harrison. And before Paddle, we'd been working on software businesses. And we ran into all of these challenges that everybody experiences when they start a company. From how do you start billing your customers for the first time, to the first time that you realize sales taxes are an issue and they multiply around the world. We really struggled with these challenges and couldn't find a solution, and that's why we started building Paddle. And when we first started, we envisaged a solution for people who looked like us, small businesses who would one day build this on their own. And over the last 11 years, we've realized that actually this problem compounds as you grow. And today, we couldn't be prouder to have, as Andrew mentioned, over 4,000 companies processing billions of dollars a year on Paddle, whether they are processing $1,000 a month on the side in their spare bedroom to processing tens of millions of dollars a month. We are trying to build Paddle into the platform that services all of these companies. And as we start building for the future, and as we've been doing that over the last few years, we've been listening. We've been listening to all of the feedback, all of the pains that you go through as you've scaled from being small businesses to larger businesses on Paddle's platform. We've heard that you wanted better choices for your buyers. We've heard that as you scale into different markets, you want more ways to take payments. And you want easier and simpler ways to integrate Paddle. And you want all of this in an environment with reduced effort and reduced stress as you scale your company. So it's with that I couldn't be more excited to show to you the new Paddle billing.
In the world of SaaS, Paddle Billing partners with you to shape the future. We take care of all your billing and finance admin so you can focus on growth. Shape your customer's journey with our customizable multi-product subscriptions, offering infinite possibilities. A flexible, customizable native experience for your buyers. Easily integrate with your developer-friendly APIs and webhooks, adapting to your needs, fueling your growth. Attract and retain customers within your orbit with Paddle Billing. Maintaining stability amidst change becomes effortless. Paddle Billing accommodates your needs, unifying all your PLG and sales-assisted revenue in one. Seamlessly upsell with the click of a button, or move down market with ease. Streamline and simplify the complexities of global tax. Paddle Billing does it for you. Wherever you want to take your SaaS company, go there with Paddle.
We're incredibly excited to show you the new Paddle billing. And the rest of this stream, there will be demos and deep dives into the new product itself. But the product's actually been out there for a few weeks now, and we've had a handful of customers go live already. And one new customer who's integrating with Paddle billing now is Fastmail, and we'd love to introduce you to them now.
I'm Brun Gondwana. I'm the CEO at Fastmail, or Fastmail, as they say over here in the States, where I'm currently visiting our Philadelphia office. We're a hosted email as a service platform, so we store people's mailboxes in the same way that Gmail, Hotmail, etc. People store their email on our systems. One of the things I like to boast about is that we have more than 100 customers in each of more than 100 countries. So we're a very global company, headquartered in Australia. We charge obviously a subscription for our service, and it's either monthly, yearly, or multi-year packages. And then there's different subscription tiers depending on different features, and storage capacity obviously being one of the largest components in the small or large accounts. And we have, most of our customers are individuals, so certainly the bulk of our customers are just a single account, but we also allow people to mix and match the service levels and add on multiple users, either for a family or a small business. And so we scale out. Our biggest customer has over 1,000 users, but that's quite an edge case. The general size is just a few users. Fastmail was founded in 1999. We started charging customers in 2002, obviously very early days in the internet e-commerce world. So we have a completely homegrown billing stack built on top of a couple of different payment providers that we've gone through over the years. And then we've had to add tax compliance on top of that as well. So we integrate with an external tax provider for the US, and then we deal with taxes in Europe as well, and a couple of other jurisdictions, particularly Australia and New Zealand. Obviously, as an Australian company, that was one of the first places we had to integrate our tax compliance. So tax is a whole complexity there. And then in 2015, Fastmail purchased another company that had been around even longer, since 1995, so the PO Box stack. And then we've added another product as well that also runs on a different billing stack. So we have two completely different in-house billing stacks that we're running at the moment, and we're really keen to simplify that, both from a support perspective. When people have problems with billing, it is one of the most difficult and stressful times for them, because either they're worried they're going to lose their service, or they're worried that their money's been taken and they're not going to get anything from it. So billing is always tough to deal with from a support perspective, especially across two stacks, and it's taken quite a lot of time, both from our support team and from engineers, to dig into billing issues. So having a more streamlined system where that's taken care of for us will be fantastic. Taking care of tax is a massive big deal for us. Also reporting, obviously having two separate systems has meant that we have to pull reports from both of them and combine them together. We're really keen on multi-currency. At the moment, we charge in US dollars to everybody in the world, and we charge from an Australian credit card provider. So even for US customers, this is an overseas transaction, even though it's in their currency, and being able to give people that predictability of a price in their local currency, and also avoiding the foreign transaction charges, it just makes a more seamless experience for people signing up, and I think that's going to be really valuable for them. So having a central place for that is going to be a big deal. Support is going to be a massive big deal. I guess I should say here, we're in the process of integrating with Paddle. We haven't yet launched, but we're getting really close. I know you're working on and launching this new API. We've been working with the Paddle team on developing against that in order to model for our customers a smoother transition from our existing systems. Obviously, these have evolved over a long period of time, and there are some features in there that were going to be more complex to implement on top of Paddle Classic. So we've been implementing against the future with the hope that everything will mesh together really nicely at the end. And so far, it's going really well.
Thank you, Bron. And we're incredibly excited to have Fastmail as one of the brand new customers on the all-new Paddle billing. Now, I'm going to hand over to the team that's been responsible for the creation of the new Paddle billing. The incredible product team at Paddle is going to give you a demo now.
Hi, I'm Kendall, and I'm a product manager here at Paddle. Today we'll be talking about flexible multi-product subscriptions. SaaS businesses are changing how they think about their pricing models, from the rise and dominance of PLG to the shifting mindsets around feature robustness. Our pricing strategists are best placed to share insight into the evolving SaaS billing landscape. So what billing trends should you care about in 2023 and beyond? First, there's product bundling. Bundling allows customers to purchase multiple products or services at a discounted price and in the most cost-effective way based on their needs or wants. For your customer, this shift towards bundling makes it easier for them to make seamless purchasing decisions, reducing barriers to entry. Growing SaaS businesses lean more towards product bundling as it leads to revenue growth and increased adoption across the overall product suite. Bundling can also increase the average revenue per user, reduce churn rates, and improve customer retention by offering a more comprehensive solution with features they receive value from. Then there's hybrid or multi-structure options, providing an approach between a pay-as-you-go and subscription billing For example, you could offer pay-as-you-go, hybrid, and flexible subscription, and fixed subscription plans to customers. The aim is to attract a wider market share and provide flexibility. Smaller customers or those with occasional product usage often prefer the pay-as-you-go method due to its pricing flexibility. On the other hand, larger customers value the predictability of fixed subscriptions. In theory, this sounds good, but it's more complicated in practice. Tools and expertise are your greatest ally here to facilitate flexible subscriptions. Finally, we have simplified feature differentiation. Buyers today expect feature robustness and received value from your SaaS product, regardless of the subscription they choose. As a result, we are seeing more SaaS businesses providing customizable subscriptions that allow customers to base their purchasing decisions on their needs, rather than feeling boxed in by their size. The days of having 3 core plans based on business size is no longer fit for purpose. Instead, we're seeing brands provide feature-rich plans with customizable business or user sizes. This gives your customers the flexibility to access the features they value the most, while still paying the price appropriate to their size. Sounds great, but your billing platform needs to be able to facilitate that level of product segmentation or upgrades. This is where Paddle Billing can help. You can easily set up multi-product subscriptions tailored to your customers' needs. So let's dive into the platform and see how it works. So here we are in the new Paddle Billing dashboard. Let's first get started by creating a catalog that will support flexible subscription models. Here you can create products with multiple prices. Within each price, you can configure currency and billing cycle with ease. Because most features are configured at price level, Paddle Billing provides the structural support for flexible subscription options. Next, let's take a look at the subscription entity. From the dashboard, you can access all of your customers' subscriptions and easily make changes. This can also be done via API. Here I have an active subscription, but I want to make some updates. So from the dashboard, I will click to edit the subscription, and I can take a few actions here. First, I will increase the quantity of an existing price, and then I'm going to remove a product that a customer no longer needs and replace it with a different offering and choose from my existing prices. I could also create a price here as well. I'll confirm that all my changes look good and proceed to finalize the update to this subscription. Flexible multi-product subscriptions increase revenue, improve customer retention, and provide you with a competitive edge. Paddle Billing empowers you to offer versatile subscription plans and fully unlock your subscription's potential. By offering flexibility, you are able to cater to customers' needs so they see value in your products. That's all from me today, but stay tuned for the rest of the presentations, and I'll see you later in the deep dive sessions.
Hi, I'm Lucas, a Director of Product at Paddle, and today we're going to talk about supporting both product-led growth and sales-led growth with Paddle Billing. Product-led growth and sales-led growth represent different ways of acquiring customers, but by running these two growth motions side by side, companies like you can benefit from multiple streams of customer acquisition, increasing the overall reach and effectiveness of your growth strategy. This is the recipe for success in SaaS, and many call it product-led sales. But why? Firstly, it enables faster sales cycles. A successful product-led growth strategy can help customers understand the value of the product before engaging with the sales team. They're typically bought in and don't need the same level of education. It also enables cross-sell and upsell opportunities. Product-led growth focuses on solving specific pain points and offering upsells within the product itself. When the sales team enters, they can leverage this foundation to identify additional needs and offer complementary products or services. We also see sales teams identifying multiple individual users from the same company and upselling them to enterprise plans. Both of these things are effective ways to increase revenue per customer and drive growth. Which is why having all of your product-led and sales-led revenue in one place is crucial, and something that we see a lot of subscription companies struggling with. Paddle is designed to reconcile and consolidate customer and subscription data across your product-led growth and your sales-assisted motions, seamlessly managing both upsells and cross-sells whilst driving operational efficiency. You gain a holistic view of your revenue, making it easy to report to stakeholders, enhance cash flow predictability, and identify strategic growth levers. No more hassle managing multiple billing systems. Let's see how this works in the product. Here we are on Paddle's subscription overview page. Imagine this customer was acquired product-led through a checkout. And as you can see, the payment method is therefore a credit card that is now stored on file. What we're going to show you is how a salesperson might upgrade this customer to an enterprise contract as part of the sales process. As you can see here, they're currently purchasing standard plan at $500 a month, and the salesperson can jump here and upgrade them to enterprise plan, which costs $1,000 a month. And they've also sold this to 9 of their other colleagues, and therefore the new quantity is 10. Meaning that this subscription is now worth $10,000 as opposed to $500. Now, when you're paying that amount, you don't necessarily want that to be charged on a credit card, and rather pay it for it via an invoice that you receive at each subscription renewal date and then pay manually. You simply select this box here, and that's exactly what will happen. You can include a link to pay via Paddle's checkout if you want, and you can add a purchase number at the bottom. What I'm going to do here is then hit continue and save this update. You can see now that this subscription payment is for a much larger amount. I save that, and then the new information will be reflected in the subscription overview. And importantly, you can see that the payment method is now invoice as opposed to charging that card on file. And there you have it, a flexible billing stack enabling you to seamlessly manage your product-led and sales-led growth strategies. Thanks for your time today. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see you in the deep dive sessions later.
Hi, I'm Mike from the product team at Paddle. I've been working with our billing teams to bring you Paddle billing for the last year. Now, let's talk localization. At Paddle, we're well positioned to support any SaaS business that's looking to expand their global reach. We know that localizing a checkout experience with local currencies and payment methods can increase your conversions by over 70%. We solve this by enabling a broad list of currencies and payment methods that you can enable with a single click in our dashboard. Added to that, by being merchant of record, we file and remit your taxes for you, meaning you can literally sell your products in any region without a worry. But that's only part of the journey. It's true localization, including market-specific variations like regional pricing, that will truly set you apart and help you boost your revenue by another 30%. Let's go one step deeper and touch on willingness to pay. This will vary based on your product and customer type, but in this example, if a SaaS company is charging the same price in USD globally, normally due to limitations in their billing stack, they're leaving money on the table in the Nordics and potentially being priced out by the competition in places like Canada and South America. In a market where growth can be stagnant, there's an opportunity to make sure that you capture revenue in regions based on what your customers are willing to pay. Many billing providers will only allow you to price at a currency level. Our solution: set prices, choose your currencies, and adjust the pricing at a regional level. This strategy helps capture maximum revenue from every customer. Let me show you how this is done on the Paddle billing platform. So here we have our product page for our enterprise plan. We can see we've got our $1,000 a month price here. We go to edit that. We can actually see that automatic currency conversions turned off for this account. So let's go onto our currencies page and get that turned on. Here's all the currencies that we support at Paddle. So I'm going to turn those on, a simple click, save that. And if we now go back to our product page and have a quick refresh, we can see that when we edit that price again, we now have all of our currencies enabled, and that $1,000 price is going to automatically convert into the local currency for our buyers. So a bit further down here, we can see we actually have country-specific pricing. So we can override that $1,000 base price by country. So let's say in France, we have a fairly decent willingness to pay, So they may want to pay €1,000. And maybe in another European country, say Spain, they have a slightly lower willingness to pay. So let's set that to €900. And then maybe somewhere in South America, like Brazil, has a much lower willingness to pay. So we could set that to something like, let's say $700. We could price in Brazilian real if we wanted to, but maybe in this case we're B2B and we want to sell in US dollars. So let's save that. And we can quickly go back into here and just see there's our 3 hyper-localized prices all set up in just a few clicks. I look forward to chatting with you more about this in the deep dive sessions at the end.
Hey, I'm Kieran, Head of Developer Experience at Paddle, and I'm going to walk you through our focus on making integrating with Paddle as seamless as possible. The first thing you'll notice with Paddle Billing is that the API is more powerful and more flexible than we've had before. We designed Billing API first to ensure it was intuitive and simple to integrate with, whilst also being powerful and flexible enough to support the more complex billing models that we see in the SaaS space. With the Billing API, we've defined 12 new entities, added 53 new endpoints, giving you or your team more access to and control of your data within Paddle. All of Billing's entities support the actions that you'd expect. We've also doubled down on performance, ensuring API calls respond in milliseconds. We've added filtering and a whole lot more. Most importantly, all of the pages you'll see in the billing dashboard are actually built with the same API that you have access to. So if you can see it or do it in the dashboard, you or your team can access it programmatically too. And at the core of any integration are the events that we send to you. Much like our approach to the API, we've ensured that you've got a rich collection of webhooks to subscribe to. So with Paddle in your stack, you'll have access to near real-time event data, as billing averages just 200 milliseconds from an event occurring to us sending that data to you. We also know that some of you would prefer to pull that event data rather than have it pushed via a webhook. So we've made it all available via a brand new event stream as well. And finally, the most important touch point for you or your team when integrating with Paddle is our developer documentation. So alongside Billing's brand new API and notification system, we're excited to launch our completely overhauled dev docs. We've redesigned and rebuilt them from the ground up and produced over 300 pages of brand new content to support your integration and growth with us. The new docs cover everything you need to get started, from walking you through billing concepts to step-by-step guides on how to get up and running with us, and a custom-built API reference page for when you're in the thick of implementation. We'll send a link around at the end of the event. The new docs will be live, so please go and take a look yourselves and let us know what you think. The DX team will be continuing to invest in making the integration with Paddle as seamless and quick as possible, with things like SDKs, improved authentication, and tooling in the near future. I'll be hosting the DX deep dive later, so I'll see you shortly. Back to the team.